My dear one, today I want to speak directly to your heart with words of peace and tenderness. I know that many times you find yourself worried about what you have, about the fruit of your labor, about the possessions God has already allowed to come into your hands. But now, in this moment of prayer, I invite you to rest your mind and gently place in the Lord's hands everything you carry as a possession or responsibility. Because He, and only He, knows how to guard what belongs to you better than anyone else. You don't need to feel overwhelmed by the fear of losing what you have achieved. The Lord is the owner of all silver and gold, and He promised to supply every one of your needs. If today there is restlessness in your heart, remember that your trust is not in things, but in the One who provides all things. I feel in my spirit that you need to hear this. You are not defined by your possessions. The value of your life is not in what you own, but in the infinite love God has poured out upon you. He is the keeper of your home, the protector of your family, and the sustainer of your tomorrow. Placing your possessions in God's hands is not losing control, it is gaining rest. Because when you surrender to Him, you declare that you trust the care of the One who has never failed and never will. And this surrender creates in you a freedom that no wealth could ever provide. I pray right now that you may feel the peace that surpasses all understanding filling your heart. That you realize the Lord is with you, taking care even of the smallest details of your finances, your work, and your decisions. The Holy Spirit whispers to your heart that you don't need to fear tomorrow. The same God who has cared for you until now will continue to provide daily bread, clothing, shelter, and even that which seems impossible in your eyes. And I declare that all insecurity surrounding your mind right now is dissolving in the presence of the Lord. May you see yourself walking on a path of trust, knowing that each step is guided by the strong hands of your Heavenly Father. You are called to live in freedom, not enslaved by anxiety over what you may lose or gain. The Lord has already written your story, and in it there is no lack. Because He is your shepherd, and you shall not want. As you surrender your possessions and achievements into God's hands, realize that He is making room for greater things, for blessings you cannot yet imagine. Because what He has for you cannot be compared to what you already hold today. Take a deep breath now and feel the love of the Lord surrounding you. There is no need to fight alone, because you have never been alone. Heaven is on your side, and God's care is constant over all that you are and all that you have. May every possession, every achievement, every dream now be covered by divine protection. May what once seemed vulnerable now become strengthened by the powerful hand of the Lord. I sense that you need to remember. God did not give you blessings to be a burden, but to be a testimony of His care in your life. Everything you have can become a seed for something even greater when placed in the hands of the One who multiplies. Today, I pray that you may not only trust, but also feel the relief of knowing that your possessions, your home, your provision are not in the hands of uncertainty, but kept safe in the hands of the living God. And may every decision you make from this day on carry the presence of the Lord, confirming your steps, opening the right doors, and closing the ones that were never meant for you. Know that nothing you have surrendered in prayer will be forgotten. Every word you speak is heard. Every desire of your heart is considered before the throne of God. I declare that your life will be marked not by lack, but by abundance. Not by insecurity, but by complete trust in a God who is faithful to care for everything that belongs to you. Your heart can rest. You don't need to hold tightly to what is already secure in the Father's hands. He will never allow the enemy to steal what He has already declared to be yours. And even in moments when you feel something has been lost, remember, if it left your hands, it never left God's hands. He knows what to remove, and He knows what to multiply. I pray that you may not only understand, but truly experience the peace that comes from knowing every possession, every resource, every blessing is now safeguarded in a most secure place there is, the very heart of God. And may each new day be rise with this assurance. You don't have to live in fear or worry, because everything that is yours is already protected, sustained, and blessed by the powerful hands of the Lord. Beloved soul, can you feel the gentle presence of God drawing closer to you right now? There is a warmth, a peace that begins to cover your heart, reminding you that you are seen, known, and deeply loved. The Lord is whispering that everything you have been holding onto so tightly is safer in His hands than it could ever be in yours. The Spirit of God is breathing fresh hope into you. He wants you to know that surrender is not weakness, it is the gateway to miracles. When you release what you cannot control, He steps in with a power that transforms and multiplies far beyond human understanding. You may think that your possessions are fragile, but in God's care, they are untouchable. He surrounds them like a fortress, stronger than any wall, higher than any barrier. What He guards, no one can take away. Even now, I sense the Lord stirring in your spirit, calling you to trust Him more deeply. He is asking you to lift your eyes from the temporary and fix them on the eternal. For the treasures of heaven are not bound by rust, decay, or loss. They are everlasting. There is a promise written over your life that no financial struggle, no earthly challenge can erase. God's covenant with you is sealed, and His word will not return empty. What He has declared over your life will stand unshaken. Right here, in this very moment, the Lord is teaching you that what matters most is not the possession itself, but the heart that offers it back to Him. A surrendered heart carries more power than all the wealth this world could hold. I feel a prophetic word rising for you. Your generosity will unlock blessings you never imagined. When you give from a place of trust, heaven responds with abundance. The seeds you place in God's hands will return to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You do not have to measure your worth by what you have in your account, for your value is eternal. God's love has already written your name in the book of life, and that is the greatest inheritance you could ever receive. Imagine for a moment the joy of walking in freedom, unburdened by worry over possessions. That is the life God is offering you, a life where peace replaces fear and faith becomes the foundation of every step you take. The Lord is not only watching over your possessions, He is also reshaping your heart. He is teaching you how to see wealth not as an idol to protect, but as a tool to bless, to share, and to testify of His goodness. You are stepping into a season where the weight of worry will no longer chain you. The same God who multiplies loaves and fishes is multiplying peace and provision in your life, in ways you cannot yet see, but will soon experience. I declare that a new level of trust is rising within you. Your hands may release what feels precious, but God's hands return it purified, multiplied, and aligned with His perfect plan. The Lord is saying, "Do not fear, for I am your provider. Do not cling to what I have already secured. Walk with boldness, for I go before you." This is His assurance for you today. Even in the silence of your night, when your mind circles around questions of tomorrow, His voice speaks louder than your fears. He tells you, "Rest, my child, for I am guarding what is yours." There is a sweetness in surrender that you will begin to taste. It is the freedom of no longer carrying burdens too heavy for you, because the Almighty shoulders them on your behalf. Heaven is aligning circumstances you do not yet see. Opportunities, open doors, divine connections, these are being prepared as you trust Him with what you already have. I sense chains of anxiety breaking off of you right now. The heaviness that pressed upon your chest is lifting, and in its place comes the lightness of faith. God is clothing you with new strength, reminding you that your possessions are not slipping away, they are being secured by His eternal hand. Nothing surrendered to Him is ever truly lost. Your life is becoming a testimony, not of what you held on to, but of what you dared to release into God's care. Others will see the glow of peace on your face and will want to know the God who carries you so faithfully. And as you continue to walk this path of surrender, you will discover that the real treasure is not what you once protected so tightly is the closeness of God Himself, who walks with you, surrounds you, and never lets you go. My dear friend, there is something unfolding in your life right now that only God Himself could arrange. The way He is weaving every detail together is beyond human comprehension. You may not yet see the full picture, but the brushstrokes of His hand are already painting beauty out of what once felt uncertain. The Lord is leaning close to remind you that He is not only the giver of blessings, but also the keeper of them. Nothing that He has placed in your life is outside His reach. He watches over every possession, every dream, every prayer you've whispered in secret. I feel in my spirit that God is preparing you for a season where trust will open doors no key could ever unlock. What you thought was just ordinary provision will suddenly reveal itself as extraordinary favor from heaven. Let your heart rest in this truth. When God stretches out His hand, no force on earth can stop His plan. The same hands that hold the galaxies in place are holding everything that concerns you. There's a stirring in the atmosphere around you, a shift that only faith can perceive. Where there has been fear of loss, there will now be a testimony of increase. Where there has been doubt, there will now be unshakable faith. The Lord whispers, I am not asking you to let go so you will have less say. I'm asking you to let go so I can give you more. His ways are higher, His timing perfect, and His provision limitless. Do you feel it? That quiet assurance rising in your chest is not your imagination, is the Spirit of God testifying that He is with you even now. Every anxious thought is bowing to His presence. The possessions you once feared losing are being placed on an altar, not for destruction, but for transformation. What God touches never diminishes, multiplies. I declare that a new boldness will overtake you. No longer will you be hesitant to entrust your possessions into God's hands, for you will see His fingerprints covering them with blessing and protection. The Lord is shaping your perspective, so that what once looked fragile will now appear secure. You will begin to understand that real security is not in the size of your resources, but in the strength of your God. There is a divine exchange happening as you pray your fear for His peace, your uncertainty for His direction, your striving for His rest. This is the beauty of surrender in the kingdom. Even as you release control, God is positioning you for supernatural encounters, unexpected provision, divine favor, and timely opportunities are about to intersect your path. The Spirit of the Lord is hovering over you like a shield. He is not only guarding your possessions, but also preparing your heart for a deeper intimacy with Him, where trust becomes your greatest wealth. I sense chains breaking off your mind, chains of worry, chains of scarcity chains of what if. You are stepping into a space where faith is louder than fear, and hope outshines doubt. God is speaking softly but clearly. What I bless, no one can curse. What I protect, no one can steal. What I ordain, no one can overturn. Let these words sink deeply into your spirit. There is a holy covering over your life, like a blanket of light that no darkness can penetrate. Your possessions are not just things, they are testimonies in waiting, ready to reveal the faithfulness of your God. The same God who multiplied the oil in the widow's jar and the loaves in the hands of a child is moving in your life. Nothing surrendered to him remains small. Everything expands under his touch. He is teaching you that your true treasure is not stored in earthly vaults, but in the endless abundance of his kingdom. And as your eyes shift upward, you will begin to walk lighter, freer, and with unshakable confidence. Every breath you take right now is an invitation to trust him more. Every heartbeat testifies that he sustains you, not your possessions, not your worries, not your strength, but his unfailing love. And in this sacred moment, the Lord is still drawing you closer, still inviting you to lay down what feels heavy, and still reminding you that his hands are the safest place for everything you hold dear. Thank you, my dear friend, for joining me in this sacred moment of prayer. I want to invite you to confirm that you received this message by writing in the comments below the phrase, who you want me to pray for, and the reason. Your words will not only be read, but lifted before the Lord with faith and love. It is also so important that you become part of this family of prayer. Subscribe to our channel, activate the notification bell, and leave your like. In doing so, help spread hope and faith to many more lives who are in need of God's touch. And remember this, you are not alone. God sees you, God hears you, and his love will never let you go.